And we're live. I'd like to welcome everybody back, man. I just want to knock this thing out real quick, man. I gotta get up, get out of here, head out to work. But, man, it's something that's just been chaffing my ass as I look through my Instagram, my Twitter feed. People's whose intelligence I seriously used to respect. But they just swallow whatever they see on CNN, MSNBC, hook, line, and sinker. Now you got to realize I'm from New Jersey, so most of my family, friends, they live up there, so they're in the bubble, right? So they, but good God, man. So I wasn't gonna make. I seriously was not even gonna make a reaction video. I mean, the debate was a couple days ago at this point, but and I'm not even gonna do that. But there's one aspect I want to address because I've been getting DMs in my Instagram. I've been hearing people talk about it on Twitter, and that's this whole thing about Trump and the Proud Boys and Trump and white supremacy. So I'll take them one at a time here. A little bite to chew. So let's talk about the Proud Boys first, right? Now, let's not act like we don't know the game, right? The left controls the media. The left controls Hollywood. So the left pretty much can mold your public perception of whatever they want it to be. I say that to say this. I'm not a believer that the Proud Boys are a white supremacist organization, strictly from the standpoint that they have non-white people in said organization. Never seen a black person in the American Nazi movement. Never seen a Mexican in the Klan. So that it falls apart for me right there. Okay, every time you see the Proud Boys, they're never the instigators of violence. Please note that. I'm sorry, but let's not play like there isn't a game here where any group of protesters, demonstrators, whatever you want to call them, that assembles, that is not towing the line of MSNBC and CNN. Let's not play the game that they're not all automatically castigated as far right or neo-Nazi or white supremacist. Like seriously, it reminds me of, I don't know how many of y'all seen The Water Boy. If you haven't seen The Water Boy, I don't know that I want you to listen to this, but The Water Boy, Bobby Boucher's mama, everything he wanted to do, that's the devil. That's the devil. Like, that's seriously what the mainstream media is like now. Anything that's not sanctioned, that's not towing the line, that's not BLM or some other social justice initiative, it's white supremacy. It's far right. So, it's horseshit as far as I'm concerned, okay? It's a big steaming pile of horseshit. So, yeah, the Proud Boys thing. And look, I honestly think the reason he kind of, if you watch the debate, I've watched it now 3 times, he's kind of hesitant before he answers. And I think he's not really sure who they are. And that's fair because the President of the United States has a lot more important things to worry about than what's the latest group of demonstrators in America, whether it's for or against him. Like dodging false impeachment and all these other fake scandals. Anyhow, so that the Proud Boys thing, like, and to all of you listening, who are from New York, who live in L.A., Houston, Dallas, Miami, L.A. When you go out to eat and you see a crowd coming, are you afraid it's the Proud Boys? When you go out for dining in New York and you see these crowds of people running through, smashing shit, throwing chairs, making people say shit, was that the Proud Boys? How about in Chicago? Burning, looting, destroying shit. Is that the Proud Boys? Maybe Seattle. Let's try Seattle. Was it the Proud Boys that held a couple of blocks of Seattle hostage over the summer? Maybe we all forgot about the Chaz. Was that the Proud Boys? So let's not play this game, okay? Let's not play this game that the Proud Boys and quote unquote white supremacy is the number one is the issue that we should be paying most attention to right now. Okay? Donald Trump has on multiple occasions denounced white supremacy. Okay? And if I were him at this point, this is just so petty. It's just so petty and so petulant, like this little game that the media likes to play. And it's like, well, say what I say. And if you don't say what I say, how I said it, then you don't mean it. So this is goofy. Like, this is really goofy. So let's play this straight for those people who can still think for themselves. Who's causing all the chaos right now? Who's clipping cops? Like, let's not play this game that we don't know what the issue is and who's causing the problems. You know, and not for nothing, but I don't know how many of you saw the video of the Portland police officer back when, right after the Chaz popped off and there was some other stuff going on. There was a Portland police officer, I think his name was Jakari Jackson, he's a black dude. And he basically gave an uncandid, he was ground zero. He was like front line with all that shit. So he basically gave an unbridled, candid perspective of basically what he was going through. And, for all you BLM types and your quote unquote white allies, he's telling how these little white kids coming up saying, you've got the biggest nose I've ever seen. Dude, you're a traitor to your people. All these kind of, even using racial slurs. Please, I encourage you to look him up on YouTube. Look up his interview using racial slurs. One of the other things that he said that I found very interesting was he was talking to a black girl who was asking him, how could you stand with the police against your people? You know what? And the way he conveys the spirit of how she was asking that question, I respect it. Because she was actually seeking clarification on his stance. She was seeking knowledge. God forbid, right? And one of the things he said was, one of the things I notice is whenever I try to talk to another black person, a white person steps in and stops it. And literally, as he was saying it, a white person stepped in and said, "Why are you talking to him?" So if we want to play this game about who the white supremacists are, right, or who's the racist, let's start examining people by their deeds, okay, not by what their organization is or what their chant is, okay? Because I can go out there and chant right now that I am pro women in the workforce as a business owner, but if I don't hire any women, then what does it all really mean? I can chant, I can make a sign that says, I'm vegan. Vegan life is the only way. But if I eat steak, what does it all really mean? So let's not play this game. Like, I implore the people out there who can still think for themselves to start doing so. Because you're being lied to on a lot of levels. Okay? This SJW woke horseshit this poison has run so deep. I mean, you got the Center for Disease Control talking about white supremacy as a national health crisis. What the fuck is that? What in the actual fuck is that? So, and I've said one of the silver linings of this whole COVID horseshit is we got to see who pulls the strings for the WHO, right? We got to see that. Well, one of the excuse me, one of the silver linings of this BLM shit, same thing. We got to see how deep this woke ideology, this cult of, whatever it is, we got to see how deep it goes because it's infected major organizations in America. I don't remember if it's SPLC. It's one of these groups that monitor quote unquote hate groups. But they have, the Proud Boys down there. But what have the Proud Boys done? Again, more than one ethnicity. It's not, monoethnic. There are non-white members. So right there, it kind of falls apart because I don't know if you really understand one of the premises of white supremacist organizations, but they're kind of big on only admitting white people. They're kind of big on that. That's not to say they won't work with other groups, but it's just like the mafia, right? You can be mafioso. You can be an associate, but that doesn't mean you're in. You could do their dirt for them, but that doesn't mean you're in. So this is so stupid, man. This is so stupid, and the fact that you have people. Oh, he doesn't denounce the Proud Boys. Well, number one, we don't know the Proud Boys is a hate organization. Again, I am a skeptic of that. Until, hey, look, if they come out and say, hey, you know what? We the Proud Boys, we hate black people, we hate Hispanic people, we hate. Okay, I'm willing to change my mind. But I'm saying on the evidence we have right now, Antifa functions more like a hate group than the Proud Boys do. And the fact that you have people, because you know what, at a certain point, I stop blaming the media. I really do. I really do. Because, if you go out to and you see somebody, these two guys are sitting there, one has a plate of fries. One of the guys taps the other guy. Does that thing where you tap the guy, you reach around, tap him on the shoulder so he looks away from you. If he does that and the guy looks away and the other guy takes the fry, okay. And he does it again, and it works again. And he does it again, and he works again. At what point, at a certain point, who do you get more frustrated with? Your frustration begins to build like, damn, I can't believe this is still working. But who do you really get frustrated with? The guy tapping him on the shoulder or the idiot that keeps falling for it? I tend to get frustrated, and perhaps this is a philosophical schism, right? Maybe some people get mad at you because you're taking advantage. Well, I'm sorry, but at a certain point, you have to stop being taken advantage of. You have to stop being a victim. You have to assume some mantle of personal accountability, personal responsibility. You can't always blame the victimizer. At a certain point, you are a willing victim, whether subconsciously or whatever. But at a certain point, there is a modicum of accountability that you have to assume for continuing to be duped. Now, parallel that example, I can't get mad at CNN. I can't get mad at MSNBC. I can't get mad at NBC. I can't get mad at ABC. I can't get mad at Fox. I can't get mad at these organizations. I can't. Because there's people, regardless of how many times they've been outright wrong. I'm not talking about a factual error, a slight, I said it was 74%, it was actually 69%. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about fabricating stuff that did not happen. Trump called military losers. Didn't happen. The whole Brett Kavanaugh thing did not happen. The fact that you have Chris Wallace on there still misquoting Charlottesville. Like, that is amazing to me because it's not like we're talking about two separate interviews. This is literally, and it's not even two separate interviews. We're not even talking about two separate sentences. It's literally one sentence where he said there were good people on both sides, not the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis. They should be condemned, and I condemn that. Like, what do you... But that, again, that goes back to why I'm just like, he shouldn't address it anymore. He shouldn't address it anymore because he already has. And the people already want to believe what they want to believe. There are people who are willfully ignorant at this point, so don't waste time on them. Don't waste time on them. That's a shame that's where we are, that your hate runs that deep, that you are actually reverting back to a child, plugging your ears with your fingers and saying la 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 la. Like that's basically what it comes across as, and whatever. But let's move to the whole, because again, Instagram, Twitter, people whose intelligence I used to respect, people who I remember from college, people who I've spent time with, people who were friends, and still friends, right? Still friends. I'm not swearing you off because you're stupid. I just have to take a step back and be like, wow. But let's go to the whole Trump's. We're back to Trump's a racist again and again. We talked about Charlottesville, and that was just the fact that lie is still being propagated lets you know how bad it's gotten to where sound-minded adults are literally rejecting any fact that is disaccording to what they want to believe. That's not a good place to be, man. When people stop rejecting facts, man, we're in trouble. We're definitely in trouble. But so let's go back to the Trump's a racist. He's a white supremacist. He hates black people because that's what that's the right. That's the watermark, right? That's the invisible ink of whenever you hear so and so's a racist. What they're really saying is they're anti-black. That's at least how it's pushed across, which is very interesting to me. That's always like the invisible ink that you got to pee on it. You got to hold it up to a can. There it is. To Donald Trump, he is a racist. So, okay. Let's talk about opportunity zones, right? Let's talk about this man. If he is such a racist against black people, why is he incentivizing businesses to start in the quote unquote black community in areas that are dominated demographically by black people? Why is he incentivizing that? Let's talk about the First Step Act, where one of the bigger points of that is releasing nonviolent drug offenses, primarily crack. I have an article right in front of me right now that I'm going to read to you. One of the points of it, rehabilitation efforts, right? Let's scroll down here. The law allows some 2,600 people serving sentences for crack cocaine offense before August 2010 the opportunity to petition a judge for a reduced penalty. Okay, right there. Because there's some things there. Who are the majority of people serving offenses for crack cocaine? Like, let's not play this game. Black people, right? Now, the supreme irony of this is, who's the person that put those people there? Wait for it. I know I've seen him. What's his name? I saw him a couple of days ago. He was yelling something about not demeaning people, racial sensitivity. Joe Biden. There it is. So he's literally undoing the harm that Joe Biden caused, but he's racist. If he's racist, he's happy that your black asses are in jail. Because I don't have to deal with you. I get some cheap labor, Kamala. I get some cheap labor off you. This is like common sense stuff, man. Like, why are people this stupid? Okay, let's talk about the Platinum Plan, right? I'm over here on Bloomberg now, okay? And we'll read a couple articles, a couple paragraphs of this article, and this is so stupid. In efforts to woo African American voters before the election, on September 25th, President Donald Trump unveiled a plan to shovel capital, jobs, and opportunities into black communities, a program that his campaign is calling the Platinum Plan for Black America. For black communities, the Platinum Plan commits to unlocking $500 billion in access to capital, creating 3 million new jobs, and bridging historic disparities in healthcare and education. School choice, which is a big thing, a big topic for a lot of black people, especially those in inner cities who are complaining about failing schools. You know who's against school choice? Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Democrats. Because, like Joe Biden said back in, the 70s, 60s? He doesn't want his kids going to a multiracial jungle. But Donald Trump's racist. I get it. Creating 3 million new jobs and bridging historic disparities in healthcare and education, school choice, criminal justice reform like the First Step Act, and favorable trade deals for black farmers and manufacturers round out the list of the president's platinum promises. The campaign pledges that Donald Trump will even make Juneteenth a national holiday if he is reelected, building on the credit that the president has taken for making Juneteenth very famous. Okay. What racist? What anti-black racist? And we can talk about the plan that he had for Hispanics, for Latinos. What racist does this? He is literally the worst racist, and by that I mean the worst at being racist that we've ever seen. Like I just don't understand how people are this stupid and this easily manipulated. I really don't. I really don't. You know, the man is now, for the record, this is nice. I don't necessarily think this is necessary though, but I get it. It's politics. You know, you got to sell the sizzle. But I don't think this is necessary, personally speaking, for black people. Get married, work hard, stay married, no children out of wedlock, and I think most of the problems go away. Return to normal American, call them Judeo-Christian values, but just the basic, it doesn't even have to be that, just the basic goodness. Don't kill people. Don't rob people. Work really hard. Be respectful. Carry yourself in a way that commands respect. Like, if we just get back to brass tacks, the very basics, I guarantee most of these problems go away. Most of them. Then, once we have a baseline, then maybe we can talk about, okay, what, if anything extra, anything, superfluous, if you will, to what we're already doing, then okay, we can talk about it. It's, to me, that's like the person who has never worked out a day in their life that goes into GNC and buys, pre-workout, buys a thermogenic, buys a multivitamin, buys, a PM protein, buys all this crap. And it's like, hey, bro, hey, just go to the gym. How about you just go to the gym? Do that first. Establish a routine of that first. And then we can add these, wait for it, probably a misnomer, supplements to what you're already doing. This, to me, the Platinum Plan is a supplement. Okay? I don't think it is necessary at this juncture. Let's do the basics. How about that? So, sorry to rant on you guys a little bit, but this is like I said, these are people whose intelligence these are people who I at one time considered smart people. I really did. And I don't know, again, a lot of them live in the bubble. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I get it. You live in the bubble. But again, how many times are you going to let them tap you on the shoulder and take a fry? Tap you on the shoulder, take a fry. Tap you on the shoulder, take a fry. Like, how many times are you going to be duped? At what point does your own independent thinking mechanism kick on and say, you know what, they were kind of wrong about that? Actually, they were way wrong about that. I don't understand how people like Chris Cuomo have credibility. He faked his own COVID quarantine. I don't understand how he has credibility. I really don't. But people watch him. People watch him. Hell, I talked to a family member who didn't even know that he faked his quarantine. But again, I guess that's how deep and how strong that echo chamber is up there. But you know what? There is a such thing as the internet. There is a such thing as a Google search. There are plenty of news outlets out there, a lot of independent journalists. And please, don't get me wrong, this isn't a plug for Fox News. Because, truth be told, I don't watch Fox. I don't. I may catch a clip of Tucker Carlson on YouTube because I genuinely think he's hilarious. But most of my news comes from independent journalists and people who cite their sources, who I then, now this is crazy what I'm about to say, who I then go and do my own research and look at their article, and then I look at what CNN is saying, and I look at what Fox is saying. But I mainly look at what CNN is saying because most of the people I talk to on a daily basis, I have to be able to speak their language. Right? So in order to be a translator, you have to speak the language of the foreign entity and your own. So in order for me to communicate with these people, I have to be able to speak CNN to them. But this is, man, can we stop with the racist stuff? Like, it doesn't pass the basic, logical, objective, empirical, scientific method. It does not pass that test. Why is he doing all of this if he is racist? He's already president. He won with a paucity of the black vote. He, mathematically speaking, doesn't need much. So can we stop with the horse shit? Pour favor, s'il vous plaît. All right. That'll do it for now. I'll thank everybody for tuning in who is. And yeah, I'll come at you again here pretty soon. What's today? Today's Thursday. October 1st. So yeah, I'll probably drop another one of these on Saturday. Or whenever, maybe sometime before. I still got to figure out the schedule when I'm going to do all this crap. But thanks for listening. And if you're one of the stupid people, now's a good time to unstupefy yourself. For everybody else, keep fighting the good fight.